Today's video is a three-parter, and there's a very specific reason why I have three little short video segments for you today put together into one. The first part of this video is actually a haul that I did at Tuesday morning, and I'll show you the few items that I bought. And then the second part is using that main item that I bought from Tuesday morning to make a small project, and I'll give you a little bit of my review opinion of that item, and then a small tip on how you can personalize it. And then the third part of this video is using one of those items in my planner, and then I have a freebie for you to share after I show you what I use that item for. So let's get started. I actually have a haul video for you today, and I'm not going to do too many general haul videos. But I really enjoyed what I found today, so I thought I'd come and show you. I was shopping at Tuesday morning, which I know a lot of crafters know about, but it was kind of new to me actually. And so I've been pretty excited at the finds I've been seeing there. So let's start with this. This is the hole punch that coordinates with various planners. And if you look on the back, it can be adjusted to do different hole punch styles. And I actually have the Carpe Diem planner. And I didn't actually get into using this as a calendar planner very much. And then I tried using it for a journal for a while, and that didn't work out too well. So now I think I'm going to use it to organize my YouTube video to-do list. And because it has the specialty binding rings in it, I thought the hole punch would be easy for me to make myself my own to-do list pages, and I'll show those later. And then I found these Chamel buttons, and I really like the wood-rimmed buttons, and they were popular a few years ago, and they kind of went out of style, I've noticed, and so finding these makes me happy, so I bought those. And what I went into Tuesday morning for was actually a letterboard. I've been resisting the letterboard craze, and I finally gave in. So I found this nice large letterboard, and it was only $15. And since it was affordable, I went ahead and got a jumbo set of extra letters to go with it, and these were $3. So that way I can mix and match my text. So I'm going to set up a message on this letterboard, and I'll be right back. So the quote that I used today on my letterboard comes from this book called Hand Lettering for Relaxation by Amy Lotta, also known as One Artsy Mama. This quote right here: "Practice makes progress." And I thought that was just the perfect quote for me because perfection is so unachievable. So anyway, I will give you a review of this book in the future, and I hope if you don't have a letterboard already that you might be motivated to go out and get one, because I think I'm going to use it for all these inspirational quotes to keep myself motivated. I wanted to give you a view of the back of the board to see how it has hanging attachments already there. And I saved the barcode on the back of that just in case I ever wanted to look up something about this product in the future. And here I am taking apart the letters, and I've never done a letterboard before, so I wasn't sure what to expect. They didn't quite just pop off like I thought they would, so I grabbed my scissors and I started clipping things apart. And I made myself a pile of letters of the words that I was going to use in my quote. For me, the key word in this quote is the word progress, so I wanted to make that one more prominent, so I decided to go ahead and use the larger pink letters so that that one would stand out in particular. And with all my letters ready to go, I decided I wanted to measure the width of this letterboard so that I could center my letters. And this was actually easier than I thought it would be. So the center point was like 8 inches. And if you lay the letters out but don't push them down into the grooves yet, they're easy to kind of slide back and forth to center them. And so I did that. You can see it as a little more clearly with the word that I get to next, where I had started putting it out, and it was kind of off, and I just kind of slid them over and they just kind of followed the groove along, and then I was able, once they were in the right place, to just kind of push them down. And when I had everything in place, I started looking at the letters more carefully, and I realized that some of the letters had these extra plastic overhangs on them, which I wasn't happy about. And then where I cut them apart from the product packaging, there were still some tabs, so I needed to deal with those. I just grabbed my craft knife and I just started skimming away that extra plastic. Not all of the letters had this, only a few of them, so I was not thrilled with having to do all this, but it's also not a terrible thing. So I just keep that in mind if you're deciding to buy one of these letter boards from DCWV. You might need to do a little work to get it ready to go. I also used the craft knife to trim off those little tabs left from the packaging, and that actually took a little while. But once that was done, I moved on to kind of personalizing this project a little bit. So what I did is I wanted to add a big heart onto this project out of paper. And so I just traced a heart shape by hand on the back side of a sheet of paper. And then I get to cutting it out with some scissors. And the way I figured out that I could attach this to my project, I thought was a little clever. So I thought I'd give you this tip. So if you go into those letters and you pick out a couple of symbols that you don't think you would use in the future, and these were some money symbols from other countries that I would never use, and you can actually use these to attach random items to, and then it'll clip them into your letterboard, and then that way you can take those items on and off of your letterboard and change them up in the future. And I just use glue dots to attach them. I use glue dots to attach the paper items to these letterboard icons, and then that keeps it in place on my letterboard for displaying. The reason I bought this letterboard was because this display area in my scrap space has been a mess, and I wanted to pretty it up. So here it is, looking tidy and lovely. Finally, I have a freebie for you. I just use a spreadsheet program to create these sheets of paper that are a checklist, a to-do list for my YouTube videos, and I will offer that up to you for free, and you can edit the file to your needs and your checklists and then use them in your planners. So I just printed these on a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, but in order to get it to the right size to work with the hole punch and to work in the Carpe Diem planner with the 6 ring binding system, I actually had to trim the 8.5 by 11 width down to 8 5/16 of an inch. So you'll need your paper trimmer to trim it first, and then you'll cut them in half the other direction to get these sheets to fit in your planner. And then we're ready to hole punch. You can see here that the hole punch has a listing on the back of all of the different styles of planners that you could punch holes for. So I'm going to follow the guide for the Carpe Diem planners. And these little punchers pop out, and there's little numbered guides in the punch where you can pop them back into place. I found it a little difficult to line up the tiny grooves in the punch with the tiny grooves in the kind of the punch holder. But I got it in there and worked on it and got my holes punched, and then I popped them into my planner and everything fit nicely. So again, I'll have this printout available for you on my blog. You can find the description in the links below, and it'll be an editable version and then a blank PDF version that you can just fill in by hand. So go check that out. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to see all my videos in the future. See you next time.